You won't believe what this man found inside a rare meteorite he discovered. Many things in the universe are plentiful and often, the longer you live, the more you realize that unique experiences are rare. It might seem like nothing in this world is truly special. However, there are discoveries that truly stand out as one of a kind. From a unique gem to the world's rarest mushroom, here are the 20 most rare discoveries ever made. Number 20. One-of-a-kind gem. Now, here's a gem that's so rare that there's only one specimen discovered so far. Diamonds might be valuable, but chat is the world's rarest material. Chat is a transparent, reddish-orange mineral. There's nothing extremely extraordinary about it in terms of appearance, but its composition is incredibly unique. Its formula includes bismuth, antimony, and oxygen with traces of tantalum. Because bismuth is a heavy element, this tiny gem has an impressive density, more than 8 times that of water. How this mineral forms remains a mystery. However, researchers believe that chat forms under specific circumstances involving the cooling and crystallization of highly concentrated molten rock. This incredible mineral was discovered in the Mok region of Myanmar, a place already famous for its rubies and sapphires. It was found by sapphire hunters in a streambed and initially went unrecognized. It wasn't until Dr. Cha Tu, a renowned Burmese mineralogist, spotted this unusual gem on the market. His keen eye and expertise led to the identification of chat, which was later officially recognized by the International Mineralogical Association in 2015. Today, the only known specimen of this rare material resides at the Natural History Museum in Los Angeles. Another specimen has yet to be found. Number 19. Ambergris. Did you know that whale vomit is extremely valuable, so much so that it's even hailed as floating gold? This substance is known as ambergris. It's a waxy substance produced in the digestive system of sperm whales. Despite being called whale vomit, it's not excreted through the mouth. This rare material forms when whales ingest hard, indigestible parts of their prey, such as squid beaks. These sharp objects irritate the whale's intestines, prompting the secretion of a fatty substance to protect its digestive tract. Over time, this mixture hardens and transforms into ambergris. One would be right to assume that the substance would be displeasing to smell, but this very same material is a prized ingredient in perfumes. Yes, you heard that right. Now, fresh ambergris is black and has a strong, unpleasant odor. As it floats on the ocean, exposure to sun and salt water chemically transforms it into a gray or yellowish substance with a sweet, earthy scent. This aging process can take years, during which ambergris develops its unique fragrance that many perfume houses desire. Ambergris has a complex scent profile that's difficult to describe. It's been compared to a mix of old wood, damp earth, and a hint of tobacco. Its unique fragrance and fixative properties, which help preserve and enhance the longevity of perfumes, make it highly prized in the fragrance industry. Historically, it's been used in everything from incense to medical remedies and even in culinary applications. With how rare it is, ambergris is extremely valuable. Beachcombers who find pieces of ambergris can earn significant sums, from thousands of dollars to over $1 million. Now, despite this, don't try your luck in finding ambergris. After all, it's hard to come by, and it's illegal to forcefully remove these from whales. But if you see something floating in the water while sailing in the ocean, perhaps it won't hurt to take a second look and confirm whether it's ambergris. Number 18. Charlotte Bronte's ring. Charlotte Bronte is one of the most renowned figures in literature. Born on April 21, 1816, Bronte was an English novelist most recognized for her work Jane Eyre. Her writing made her a key figure in history and made her books one of the celebrated literary classics. Now, who would have thought that decades after her death, a memento of her would be discovered in an unassuming attic, no less. In a quiet attic in Wales, a woman sorting through her late father-in-law's belongings stumbled upon a locked metal box. After sifting through countless keys, she finally unlocked the box to reveal a single ring. At first glance, the ring seemed ordinary, but closer inspection revealed an inscription. See, Bronte and the date March 31, 1855, the day that Charlotte passed away. With this inscription, the significance of the ring was confirmed. This ring, while unusual for us today, was something common in the Victorian era. It's known as mourning jewelry, a piece that mourners and loved ones could keep or wear to have something from their deceased loved ones close to them despite their passing. Now, the ring itself, despite being antique, would only fetch the price of about $25. But with its connection to Charlotte Bronte, its cost would easily be a little over $26,000. Number 17. $33 million egg. Plot twists and cliches can happen in real life, and this is one of them. In 2012, A scrap metal dealer from the Midwest purchased a small golden egg for $13,300 at an antique market. Now, you're probably thinking, but that's still a hefty amount. It is indeed a steep price, but that's a normal price for an egg made of gold. Nothing quite extraordinary. Originally, the man planned on melting it down to extract gold from the egg, but when he couldn't find a buyer, he decided to abandon the project and just observe the piece he bought. This led to an astonishing discovery. He probably thanked the heavens that he studied the egg before melting it for gold. After all, the egg turned out to be a Faberge egg, one of the most prized pieces in the world. Eventually, the piece was brought to experts, including Kieran McCarthy, a Faberge expert from the London jewelry firm Wartski. McCarthy identified the artifact as the third imperial Easter egg, crafted in 1887 by the legendary jeweler Peter Carl Faberge for Tsar Alexander III. The egg was an Easter gift to the Tsarina Maria Fyodorovna, featuring lion paw feet, golden garlands, cabochon sapphires, and a diamond clasp. Inside the egg was a Vacheron Constantin watch, which made the piece more valuable. Needless to say, the piece was valuable, and by valuable, I mean it was over 2,000 times its original price. This egg was valued at an eye-watering $33 million. Being one of the only few surviving imperial eggs, the scrap dealer, who wished to remain anonymous, was understandably shocked. He had unknowingly been in possession of a piece of royal history worth millions. The egg was eventually sold through Wartski to a private collector. Number 16. Coconut opening rat. Scared of rats or rodents? There's another thing to fear, especially big ones, including this giant rat. Scientifically known as Eurymes vica, this rat can grow up to 1.5 feet, making them about 3 to 4 times larger than the common rats you see. What's more, these critters have another skill: breaking coconuts open. They're known to chew through the tough shells of coconuts, a feat that no ordinary rat can accomplish as fast. Now, despite the fact that their bites and nibbles would surely hurt, this species is listed as critically endangered, primarily due to habitat loss from logging activities. The island's remaining forests, particularly those in the Zyra Community Resource Management Area, represent the last refuge for this species. If not resolved, these coconut opening rats might disappear in a matter of years. Number 15. World's largest opal matrix. An opal matrix is a type of opal where the precious opal material is intricately interwoven with the host rock. There are primarily two types of opal matrices found in Australia: the Boulder matrix and the Andamucca matrix. The Boulder matrix opal, found in Queensland, features precious opal veins running through ironstone, while the Andamucca matrix from South Australia requires treatment to reveal its vibrant colors. Because of how rare it is, it's considered one of the most expensive materials on Earth. However, this one discovered in southern Australia is more special for its size. It's known as the world's largest opal matrix. The world's largest opal matrix was discovered in southern Australia and weighs an astonishing 55,000 carats, equivalent to about 11 kilograms. This massive stone measures 30 centimeters in length, 50 to 20 centimeters in height, and 4 centimeters in thickness. It's estimated to be worth at least $1 million, but its value could be significantly higher once cut and polished for jewelry. Number 14. Authentic ring. I don't know about you, but I greatly enjoy thrifting. However, I've never had a find as lucky as this one. Over 30 years ago, a woman in West London picked up what she thought was a costume jewelry ring at a car boot sale for just £10, which is about $13. She wore this ring daily, believing it to be a simple piece of glass jewelry. Little did she know, she was flaunting a treasure on her finger. It wasn't until recently that the true value of the ring was discovered. After taking it to a local jeweler for an appraisal, the woman learned that her ring was actually set with a 26.27 carat diamond. This cushion-shaped diamond was cut in the 19th century, a time when diamonds were cut to conserve weight rather than maximize brilliance, giving it a unique, less sparkly appearance compared to modern diamonds. The ring was later dubbed the tenner ring, as an ode to its original price. It was eventually put up for auction at Sotheby's Fine Jewels sale in London. It was initially estimated to fetch around $456,000, but ended up selling for an astonishing £656,750, or approximately $850,000. So, if you have any suspicious durable jewelry that you bought from a thrift shop or a flea market, you might want to try your luck and get it appraised. Who knows? Perhaps you'll be the next lucky person who would gain almost $500,000 from a $13 investment. Number 13. Hand of Faith. Perhaps you've already heard about the Hand of Faith, one of the most prized naturally occurring materials in the world. The Hand of Faith was discovered on September 26, 1980, by Kevin Hillier in the small town of Wedderburn, Victoria, Australia. Armed with a new metal detector, Hillier stumbled upon the massive nugget buried just 12 inches below the surface. Weighing an incredible 875 troy ounces or approximately 61 pounds, this colossal gold nugget was resting vertically in the ground. The nugget's name, Hand of Faith, is derived from its distinctive shape, which resembles an outstretched hand. Its dimensions are quite impressive, measuring approximately 47 centimeters long, 20 centimeters wide, and 9 centimeters thick. Its size alone made the nugget's discovery renowned all over the world. After its discovery, the Hand of Faith was sold to the Golden Nugget casino chain for over $1 million. Today, it's prominently displayed in the lobby of the Golden Nugget Casino in Las Vegas, Nevada. Number 12. Neon Light. In 1935, Clifton's Brookdale opened its doors. For years, it stood in the heart of downtown Los Angeles. The restaurant became known as a landmark by locals until eventually, in 2010, the eatery was turned over to entrepreneur Andrew Myron. There wasn't anything unusual about the restaurant, or at least that was the case until they tore down its old walls and partitions. Behind one of the rundown walls was a glowing neon lamp. The most surprising thing was the fact that this neon light, hidden behind a plywood and plaster barrier, had been continuously burning for 77 years. Now, typically neon lights have a lifespan of less than 77 years, but I guess this one was quite different. It would have been in the owner's best interest if the light broke on its own, but it endured without ever being turned off for over 7 decades. Now, we all know that leaving a light on for decades doesn't come cheap. The electricity bills racked up by this forgotten neon lamp are estimated to total around $177,000. That might sound like a large figure, but remember, we're talking about a neon light that probably outlived a person. Besides, the electricity bill was paid throughout the years it was open, which meant they probably had to pay an extra $15 to $20 a month if we split that evenly. Number 11. Most expensive wood. You're looking at kinum, also known as Kiara. This is one of the rarest and most luxurious materials in the world. How rare? It's rare enough to fetch a hefty price of up to $10,000 per gram. Kinum is a type of agarwood, also known as aloeswood, eaglewood, or oud, which is highly prized for its complex and powerful fragrance. Agarwood forms when the heartwood of the Aquilaria tree becomes infected with a specific type of mold, Phelophora parasitica. This infection prompts the tree to produce a dark, resinous wood that is highly aromatic and valued in the perfume and incense industries. Kinum has been an important part of various cultures for thousands of years. It has a storied history in Chinese, Japanese, Indian, and Middle Eastern traditions. During the Song dynasty in China, agarwood was valued as much as gold, and its importance only grew over the centuries. Today, kinum is still used in traditional Japanese incense ceremonies and high-end perfumes, symbolizing luxury and spiritual significance. Number 10. Giant squid. Beachgoers in South Africa's Britannia Bay were mortified when they stumbled upon what looked like a monster from the bottom of the ocean, and perhaps it is. They found a 14-foot-long squid on the sandbank in 2020. To this day, it's one of the very rare sightings of a giant squid. Giant squids are among the ocean's most mysterious inhabitants. They typically live at depths between 1,000 and 3,000 feet, making sightings exceedingly rare. It's quite unclear how the creature ended up getting washed up in the ocean. In the end, the squid was taken by researchers to be studied. Despite several specimens we've acquired so far, there are still a lot of unanswered things about these giant creatures. Perhaps in the future, we'll develop technology to learn more about them in their natural habitats. You see, there's a limit on how much researchers can learn about the giant squid and other deep-sea dwelling creatures. With the sudden change of pressure, the giant squid would likely perish before researchers could find the chance to study it if they were to catch one. That's why so far, only lifeless squids have been observed and studied by researchers. Number 9. Blue lobster. Did you know that blue lobsters exist? And no, they're not made by humans. Rather, they're one of the naturally occurring things in nature with a blue color. Blue lobsters are not a separate species but rather a rare color variant of the American lobster or the European lobster. These lobsters typically display colors ranging from murky brown and green to dark navy blue or purple. However, blue lobsters owe their stunning sapphire hue to a genetic mutation that results in the overproduction of a protein called crustacyanin. This protein binds with a red carotenoid pigment called astaxanthin, creating a blue complex that reflects blue light. The odds of encountering a blue lobster are incredibly slim, estimated at about 1 in 2 million. This rarity makes each sighting a notable event. Despite these odds, there have been several reports of blue lobsters being caught by fishermen off the coasts of North America and Europe. These rare creatures often make headlines and are sometimes donated to aquariums, where they can be preserved and admired by the public. Are there any anglers out there? What would you do if you caught a blue lobster? Would you let it go, take it for yourself, donate it to researchers, or sell it online? Personally, I'd donate it to researchers on the condition that it would be kept alive. But what do you think you'd do? Let me know in the comments. Number 8. World's rarest mushroom. Now, you probably already heard about matsutake mushrooms. They're considered a renowned ingredient in Japanese cuisine, after all. However, not a lot of people have tasted this rare and expensive mushroom. Matsutake mushrooms, also known as pine mushrooms, have long-standing significance in Japanese culture and cuisine. They grow in the roots of red pine trees and are highly prized for their unique aroma and flavor, described as having a spicy cinnamon-like fragrance with earthy, piney notes. Matsutake mushrooms are celebrated in high-end culinary circles. This taste profile isn't the only thing causing its price to skyrocket. Matsutake mushrooms are difficult to find and harvest. They grow symbiotically with red pine trees, and their habitat has been shrinking due to an invasive worm called the pinewood nematode. With production rates dropping up to 95%, its price soared to about $1,000 per pound. So, if there are some of you who have tasted these before, consider yourselves lucky. Number 7. Sunfish. On June 3, 2024, beachgoers in Gerhardt, Oregon, were stunned to find a massive fish lying on the sand. This rare creature was a hoodwinker sunfish, scientifically known as Mola tecta. It's safe to say that most people who aren't familiar with the ocean would be stumped upon seeing this. Measuring 7.3 feet in length, the sunfish garnered significant attention both locally and globally due to its unusual appearance and rarity. For one, the hoodwinker sunfish is a species that was only identified in 2017. Unlike other sunfish, this species has a sleeker, more streamlined body, making them capable of concealing themselves better. Despite this one difference, this species is as gigantic as other sunfish. Hoodwinker sunfish can grow up to 7.9 feet long and have distinctive features such as a bullet-like shape, tough skin, and a small mouth with beak-like teeth. I don't know about you, but no matter how hideous a fish is, seeing one beached is still quite heartbreaking. Number 6. Roman villa on Google Earth. Now, you probably heard from some people that surfing the net, doom scrolling, or being hyperfixated on one subject you won't ever need in your life is unproductive and bad. However, this isn't always the case. Take, for example, the discovery by these amateur archaeologists who used satellite images via Google Earth to trace the remnants of a Roman villa dating back around 1,700 years. It all began in October 2022 when members of the Kent Archaeological Society, led by site director Richard Taylor, identified unusual linear crop markings on farmland near Trosley using Google Earth. These markings suggested the presence of a buried structure. Upon closer inspection and excavation, they revealed the remains of a Roman villa from the 3rd or 4th century CE. Now, what's astounding about this villa is the fact that it had a hypocaust system, which is basically an ancient Roman method of central heating. Central heating in the 3rd century CE. The Romans were truly way ahead of their time when it came to innovations that enhanced their way of living. This system used a raised floor supported by pillars to circulate hot air from a central wood fire throughout the building, keeping it warm during chilly British winters. The presence of such a system indicates that the villa's inhabitants were wealthy, as maintaining a hypocaust was costly and labor-intensive. Again, if you ever find yourself scrolling on the internet and getting deeper into the rabbit hole, perhaps it will turn into a serendipitous discovery just like this one. Now it's time for today's topic. A man cuts open a rare meteorite he discovered. What he found inside is truly mind-blowing. At the turn of the century, a hiker walking near the Fukang Mountains of China discovered this incredible meteorite. Later, he cut it open and realized that the meteorite he found was one of the rarest. The man in this photo is Marvin Kilgore, and what he has in his hand is the Fukang meteorite, named after where it was discovered. Unlike other space rocks, the Fukang meteorite is a palisite, a rare meteorite with stunning crystals inside. A single glance at this rock is enough to know that what this man is holding is a rare piece of material from outer space. Who knows just what other beautiful celestial objects lie in the universe? Number 5. Rarest flower. You might mistake this flower for a rose. I know I did at first glance. However, this is actually a deep pink camellia known as the Middlemist's red. This unassuming and seemingly ordinary flower is the rarest in the world. Scientifically, it's an unspecified variant of Camellia japonica. This flower was originally imported from China to Britain by John Middlemist in 1804. Over time, it disappeared from its native habitat and most places in the UK, surviving only in 2 known locations, Chiswick House and Gardens in London and the Treaty House in New Zealand. A little backstory: John Middlemist, a nurseryman, brought the Middlemist's red to England as a luxury item. While it was initially planted in various gardens across England, it eventually vanished from most places. By 1832, the only known UK specimen was at Chiswick House. The exact reasons for its disappearance from China and how it survived in New Zealand remain a mystery to this day. Number 4. Declaration of Independence found by a bargain hunter. In 2007, Michael Sparks, a music equipment technician from Nashville, Tennessee, made a routine visit to the Music City thrift store. Among his purchases was a yellowed shellac document that caught his eye. The clerk marked it at $2.48, and Sparks decided to take it home. Little did he know, he had just purchased one of the rarest documents on the globe, an authentic copy of the Declaration of Independence. After opening the tape, he quickly noticed the document. What followed next was a mission to authenticate what he found. Sparks discovered that his thrift store find was one of 200 official copies of the Declaration of Independence commissioned by then-Secretary of State John Quincy Adams in 1820. What he had was a document known as stone copies, which were engraved by William J. Stone to ensure the Declaration would be preserved and could be distributed widely. Experts believe that Sparks' discovery is worth about 100,000 times the amount he paid for it. In the end, it was put up for auction at Rainer's Historical Collectible Auctions in North Carolina with an opening bid of $125,000. So, do you have any guesses as to how much the document was sold for in the end? Lock in your guess by pressing the like button below. Ready? This $2.48 document eventually fetched the price of an astonishing $477,000. Number 3. Japanese Bobtail. You're looking at one of the most special cat breeds in the world, the Japanese Bobtail. This is one of the most ancient breeds in the world, with a history that spans over 1,000 years. However, it's not its history that makes it special. It's the creature's tail. This breed's tail can be straight, bent, or kinked, but it always retains a bobbed appearance that is unique to each cat, much like a fingerprint. The Japanese Bobtail has deep roots in Japanese culture and history. It's frequently depicted in traditional Japanese art and literature. In fact, the breed played a crucial role in Japan's history, particularly in protecting silk industry crops from rodents. By the 1600s, the Japanese emperor ordered all cats to be released to control the rodent population, making the Bobtail a common street cat in Japan. This breed is known for its playful, energetic, and friendly nature. They're highly intelligent and easy to train, often learning tricks and commands with ease. These cats remain kitten-like well into their adult years, making them lively companions. They're also very vocal, with a soft, melodic voice capable of producing a range of tones, sometimes leading to the belief that they can sing. Are there any Japanese Bobtail owners here that can confirm? Number 2. 2,000-year-old butter. A bog is a wetland that accumulates peat, a deposit of dead plant materials. Most of the time, there's nothing particularly interesting about them. In fact, they're quite spooky. Peat, however, has the right temperature, pH, and other conditions to preserve human bodies. What's more, people in the early years seemed to see bogs as a gateway to another world, causing them to drop human bodies into bogs as a sacrifice. Today, we've discovered some of these bog bodies and studied them. However, the most unexpected discovery in a bog isn't a body but rather food, or more specifically, butter. A 22-pound chunk of bog butter was recently unearthed in County Meath, Ireland, estimated to be around 2,000 years old. This discovery adds to the hundreds of similar finds that have been made over the years across Northern Europe. The process of making bog butter involves turning milk into butter and then burying it in a bog. Bogs provide an ideal environment for preservation due to their cool, acidic, and low oxygen conditions. This particular environment slows down the decomposition process, allowing organic materials like butter to remain intact for millennia. These butter lumps are often found wrapped in animal hides or encased in wooden containers, which further protect them from the elements, allowing them to be preserved for millennia. Number 1. Hawken Horde. On November 16, 1992, a retired farmer named Peter Waddling lost a hammer in his field and asked his friend Eric Laws, who had a metal detector, to help find it. It wasn't a hammer they discovered. Rather, they discovered the find of a lifetime. Instead of the hammer, Laws stumbled upon a treasure trove buried just 12 inches below the surface. This treasure is now known as the Hawken Horde, one of the greatest hoards ever found. The Hawken Horde consists of an astonishing collection of 14,860 Roman coins and around 200 items of gold and silver jewelry, tableware, and other artifacts. Among the notable items are gold bracelets, necklaces, rings, and silver spoons. The hoard dates back to the late 4th and early 5th centuries AD, a time of great upheaval in the Roman Empire. The coins in the hoard range from the reign of Emperor Constantine I to those of the usurper Constantine III, which means that the hoard was likely buried around 408 to 450 AD. During this period, the Roman Empire was withdrawing its troops from Britain, leaving the island vulnerable to invasions by Saxons, Angles, and Picts. The owners of the hoard likely buried their valuables to protect them from these threats, with the hope of retrieving them once the danger had passed. It's safe to say that the owners never did get to enjoy these treasures that they buried. Do you think you know of other discoveries that could top these rare discoveries? If so, feel free to share them in the comments down below. Also, check out our other cool stuff showing up on the screen right now, and I'll see you in the next video.